Hey guys, so this is the video for topic 15, lesson 4, yes, lesson 4, okay? So, for this lesson, our friend is going to come back out to play, okay? So, if you don't have this written down somewhere, you can stop the video and copy it down, or if you still have it, you can go find it, okay? But we're basically going to be converting the units again, but except it's going to be a lot of word problems, and we're going to have to do a lot of like mental thinking. Not so much, yeah, we're going to have to do math, but it's going to be a lot of just like logic. What I mean by that is you're going to have to think, okay? So I'm going to be nice because I looked at the quick check and I looked at the lesson in the book. It's hard. Okay? Like, I mean, I had a hard time with it. Like, I was able to do it, but I had to sit there and think and think. And in a little bit, I have a story for you guys. You guys are going to love it. Okay? So, for right now, just remember this. Remember our super Y in 1 yard. There are 3 feet. 1, 2, 3 feet. And then each foot has 12 inches. Okay? Then over here, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. 1 yard has 36 inches, or 1 yard has 3 feet. 1 mile has 5,280 feet. 1 mile also has 1,760 yards. Okay, those are in red because they're not shown here in the super Y. Then capacity, liquid amounts. We have G unit. In 1 whole gallon, there are 4 quarts, and then in each quart, there are 2 pints, and then inside each pint, there are 2 cups, okay? So then we have these that aren't shown on the G unit. 1 tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons. 1 fluid ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons. 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. And 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Then we have Tammy ton. Okay, we have 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. And then we have 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. Okay, and it's the same thing here, exactly what I said here. Okay, so let's do some review problems. Okay, so I have these here. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can stop the video right now and you can try solving these on your own on a piece of paper. But if you don't remember and you just want to watch the video and try to copy it down as I do it, that's more than okay. Alrighty? So I know I labeled it 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm actually going to start not at 1. Okay, I'll start at 2. Alright, so I have 6 pints, and I want to figure out how many quarts that's going to be. Okay, so let's remember our rule, and I'll write my rule down here at the bottom. So from big to small, we're going to multiply, and from small to big, we're going to divide. Okay, so I have pints, and I want to go to quarts. So let's look here. Pints are inside a quart. So pints are smaller than quarts. So that means that we are going to go from small to big. So from small to big, we divide, okay? Because that's what it says right here. Small to big, we divide. So I'm going to take 6 pints, and then in 1 pint, I have in 1 pint, I have quart, okay? So I'm going to take this. I'm sorry, in 1 quart I have 2 pints. Duh. In 1 quart I have 2 pints. So I'm going to take my 6 pints and I'm going to divide it by what number? 2, right? So I'm going to take my 6 pints and I'm going to divide it by 2. And that's going to give me 3. So in 6 pints, I have 3 quarts. We can check it here. So if I have 6 pints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 3 quarts. Okay, so 3 quarts. Let's go up here. I have 3 tons and I want to go to pounds. So I'm going from tons to pounds. So am I going from big to small or small to big? I'm going from big to small because tons are huge. So I'm going from big to small, so that means I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to take this 3 tons and I'm going to multiply it by what? 2,000, right? So I'm going to take 3 and I'm multiplying it by 2,000. Okay. So remember basic fact? I have this 3 and I'm going to multiply it to this 2. Okay. My answer is going to be 6. And what do I do with these 3 zeros? Bring it down, right? Okay, so my answer is going to be 3 tons is equal to, I need to write really small, 6,000 pounds. Okay, and then we're going to go to 4. So I have 36 inches and I'm going 2 feet. So from inches to feet. I'm going from small to big or big to small? I'm going from small to big. So I'm going to take this 36 and I'm going to divide it by something. What am I going to divide it by? Is it here or here? What do you think I'm going to divide by? Sorry if it's loud, it's because the gardeners are outside. Sorry. So by now you should have said that you are going to divide by going from inches to feet. So you're going to divide by 12, right? You should have divided by 12. And then your answer is 3. Okay, so let's check. In 36 inches, does that mean I have 3 feet? Let's see. Well, here's 12. That's 1 foot. Plus 12, that's 24. That's another foot. Plus 12 more, that's 36. That's another foot. So 1, 2, 3. Yep. So our answer is 3 feet. Okay, now I saved this one to the end because what's different about this one? That fraction right there, right? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to draw a little picture. I'm going to draw a yard. That's one whole yard right there, that rectangle. Okay, but remember, a yard has 3 feet in it. So I'm going to break it up into 3 feet. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. Okay? So I want to change 1 1/3 yard to feet. So I'm going to take 1 yard right here. 1, 2, 3. I already know I have 3 feet. Okay? But I can't put 3 as my answer because I'm not done. I already got the 1 out of the way. But I still have this fraction, 1/3. So in 1 yard, I have 3 feet. Well, what about 1/3 of a yard? Here's a yard and it's cut into thirds. Ooh, ah. So 1/3 of it is going to be how many feet? 1. So instead of my answer being 3 feet, my answer for this whole thing is going to be 4 feet. Okay, so there's your review. Okay, so I have a little present for you. Okay, oh, hold on, let me erase this. Alright, so I went and I looked at your quick check for topic 15, lesson 4. Remember I said earlier, it's hard? Yeah, okay. So, if you think you're capable of doing this by yourself, great, okay? You can shut this video off and go do it, okay? But if you need my help, I have a present for you. I'm basically going to do the quick check for you here right now. I'm going to do each problem, okay? The only thing is that I changed some of the words and I changed some of the numbers, okay? So it's not exactly the problems in your quick check, but it's basically the same thing, just different numbers. So if you get stuck on how to solve it on your quick check, you can come back here and you can re-watch the video and see what I did. So you do the same thing except with the numbers that you're given. Yeah? Okay. So I know I just said that I changed some of the words and some of the numbers, but not for the first one, okay? Here's my story that I told you were going to like. Right now it's 1:58, okay? At about 10 o'clock, I opened this quick check up and I read the problem. And I said, huh? So then I read it again. And I still said, huh? And I just kept doing the other problems. I ignored that one. So then Raven walked in and I was like, hey, I have some math I want you to do. So she sat down and she did the whole quick check. But number one still made her go, what? So I was like, exactly. So we tried solving it. We spent about 30 minutes. And then eventually we gave up. And she put the question on Instagram and I put the question on Facebook. And I was like, please, people, help me solve this. I am so confused. So they did. And we got a lot of different answers. So after about 40 minutes, an hour, I tried again and I got what I think was the answer. And then one of Raven's friends got the same answer. And then a few of my friends got the same answer. So we were pretty confident on the fact that we had found the answer. Okay. So being that a whole bunch of adults just tried this problem and they were confused, I'm just going to do it for you. Okay, I'm not going to change anything. So this problem is exactly what's in your quick check. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so here's the problem. A piece of fabric is 2 yards long. Marcus puts one patch at each end of the fabric and at each quarter foot mark. How many patches did Marcus use? Okay, the part that confused me was this quarter foot mark and that he put a fabric at each end. I was like, well, how big is the fabric? Or how big is the patch? I don't know. I got my tape measure out and I was like, how do you do this? Okay. Then I went back and I looked. Okay, it's not asking me anything about the size of the patches or anything. It just wants to know how many patches I used. Okay. So what I did is I drew out my piece of fabric. Okay. So remember, I have 2 yards of fabric. So here's 1 yard. And then here's the other yard. Okay? So here's 1 yard. Here's 2 yards. Remember, each yard has 3 feet inside of it. So 1, 2, 3. And then here's the other one. 1, 2, 3. So all together, I have 6 feet, right? Because 2 yards, in each yard there's 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I'm going to go back and reread the question. A piece of fabric is 2 yards long. So I got that. 2 yards. Okay. And I cut it into my feet. Then the next part says, Marcus puts one patch at each end of the fabric. So I'm going to take my green. So at this end of the fabric, Marcus puts a patch. Okay. And then at this end of the fabric, Marcus puts a patch. Okay. So there, I followed the first set of instructions. But then the really confusing part came out and it said, and at each quarter foot mark. At each quarter foot mark. Now, Many of you might right away think, oh, that's a fourth. But many people, or at least students your age, might forget that. Okay? Adults know that. Okay? But they were confused on just how to do it. Okay? So I'm just going to show you. So each foot, remember the rulers, each foot is broken up into fractions. Okay? So here's 1 foot. I have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then right here at 1 hole, I have 4/4. Okay? Then I'm going to do the same thing here. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. And then I'm just going to keep going all the way down. Instead of saying it over and over again, I'm just going to hum a little song. Do, 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 do. Renegade, renegade. Ooh. Da, 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 da. Okay, here at the end, here's my ending mark. I already have a patch there, but I still have to write 4/4. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my orange marker. So it says that he put a patch at every quarter foot mark. So at every quarter foot mark, he put a patch. So there, 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 there. Ta-da, ta-da, ying, ying, woom, bing, da, ding, ying, okay? Let's erase that one. Okay. So now, the question was, how many patches did Marcus use? Now you just count the patches. So we have these green at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and the last one, 25. So your answer should be 25. Okay? So when you go do your quick check, make sure you put 25. Alright? Alright. So that's the first one. Then, second one. Remember, these aren't exactly the same. I changed the name and I changed the number. Okay? So, Lola feeds her cat 4 ounces of food each day. So every day, 4 ounces. Okay? How much food does she feed her cat in 40 days? So for 40 days, I want to know how much food this cat is getting. And my answer needs to be in pounds. Okay? So my information is given to me in ounces. That means I'm going to have to change it around to pounds. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write what I know. So I know that 4 ounces is given each day. Right? Okay. What's the next thing that I know? Okay. I know that 40 days is how much I need to figure out. Oops, no. Okay. So I have 4 ounces each day, and I need to figure out how many ounces in 40 days. Okay? So that's it. So here's my problem. 4 ounces. Okay. Oops, sorry, no, rewind, ignore that. Okay? So what do you think I need to do first? So if 4 ounces are given each day, I need to know how many ounces are in 40 days. So what do I do with this number and this number? See this word each? It should be a clue. I want to know how many are in 40 days total. So you should be doing this. Okay, use basic fact. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And then we're going to add the 0. Okay. So in 40 days, we have 160 ounces. Okay? We can't leave our answer like that. This is an answer, but remember, it's at in pounds. So now I have to see, all right, 160 ounces. I need to figure out what's this going to be in pounds. Okay? So remember, ounces and pounds. Down here, I'm going from big to small or small to big. Remember, ounces are this small, and then pounds are a little bigger. So I'm going from small to big, right? So I'm going to divide. So I'm going to take 160, and I'm going to divide it by 16. Basic fact, what's 16 divided by 16? 1. And then you're going to add the 0 over here. So my answer is 10 pounds. Okay. Next one. Okay. A recipe for fruit punch is shown below. A recipe for fruit punch is shown below. How much punch does the recipe make? Okay, so I'll need to figure out how much punch is this going to make. Now, in gallons or quarts, could be either one. Okay, but if the question asks you specifically on the quick check in quarts, you need to answer in quarts. If it says in gallons, you need to answer in gallons. Okay, so first, we're going to look here. Remember, in 1 gallon, there are 4 quarts. Okay, so remember that. We're going to go back to that right now. Okay, so right here I have 2.5 gallons of orange juice, 3 quarts of cranberry juice, and 2 quarts of apple juice. What do we notice here? We should notice that this one is in gallons, but these two are in quarts. Okay, so since 2 of them are already in quarts, I'm going to change the gallons to quarts. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to quarts. So 2.5 gallons is equal to how many quarts? Okay, so this half right here, you have to pay attention to this. Okay, now I want to take this whole number, 2, and I want to see how many quarts are in 2 gallons. Okay, so let's look here. If 1 gallon has 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts, 2 gallons is going to have double that. What's double of 4? 8, right? So I know that I'm going to write it over here so I don't forget. I know right now I have 8 quarts, so I have my 2 out of the way. But I still need to figure out this half. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to look at this. Okay. 1 gallon has 4 quarts. So what's half of a gallon? 2 quarts, right? So I'm going to add 8 and 2. I'm going to get 10. So this right here is equal to 10 quarts. Okay. Now, I'm going to answer this in quarts. Okay. So I change this to quarts. I have 10 quarts. And then I have 3 quarts and 2 quarts. What do I do with this 10, this 2, and this 3? What do I do with those 3 numbers? How much punch is this going to make in quarts? We should add these. So 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 2 is 15. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Let me check it to make sure that I did it correctly before I mess you guys up. Okay, yes. So remember, your answer isn't going to be this because you're going to have different numbers. Okay, remember that. But that's basically how you do it. Okay? And then I have two more. Drake feeds his hamster. Whoops, I did not finish this one. Okay, you got lucky. I'm giving you this one. Lucky. Okay. Drake feeds his hamster 20 ounces of food each day. How much food does he use in 160 days? I want my answer in pounds. Okay. So 20 ounces each day. I know that much. Record what you know. But it wants me to answer how many I use in 160 days. So 20 is each day. That word should be a clue. How many are going to be in 160? What are you going to do with these two numbers? Multiply, right? So 160. Now I know what you're saying. Well, Miss Espy, I don't know how to multiply that. That's a big number. Basic fact. Okay. So what would you get here? 16 times 2. Or if you don't want to do 16 times 2, you can do 16 plus 16. Right? So you're going to get, oopsie. Okay. And then what about our zeros? How many zeros do I have? 2, right? So they come join us. Okay. So that's how many ounces I have in 160 days. 160 days, I use this many ounces. That's a lot of food. But it wants my answer in pounds. Remember that. So that means that I have to take 3,200 ounces and I have to change them to pounds. So I'm going from small to big. So remember, ounces to pounds. I'm going to divide this by 16. I'm running out of space, so I'm just going to erase this up here. So 3,200 divided by 16 equals, okay. So basic fact, divide 32 and 16. So what times 16 will give us 32? You should say 2. And then you're going to add these zeros. So your answer is going to be 200 pounds. Is that right? That's just really messy. 200 pounds. Okay. And last one. Okay. So this one I have to write out because I ran out of whiteboard. So just give me a second. Okay. So Sammy cuts a piece of ribbon that is 2 feet long. All right. Sammy cuts a piece of ribbon that is 2 feet long. What else does it say? She needs only 18 inches. Only 18 inches. How much extra ribbon did she cut? Okay. So Sammy cuts a piece of ribbon that is 2 feet long. She needs only 18 inches. How much extra ribbon did she cut? Okay, so I'm going to underline what I know. I know you can't do this on the computer, but you can at least write it down. So I guess I'll write it down for you. So I know that, got lucky. This one's exactly like that too, like the quick check. So you have 2 feet of ribbon, and you only need 18 inches. So I already see that here it's given to me in feet, but down here it's given to me in inches. Okay, so I'm going to have to convert. And then the question is asking how much extra ribbon did she cut? Okay, so first I need to figure out how many inches are in 2 feet. That's easy. Just look here. So in 2 feet, each foot has 12 inches, so 12 plus 12 is 24. Okay, so I have 24 inches in the 2 feet. That's how long my ribbon is. But I only need 18. So I'm going to take 18 from those 24 inches, and I'm going to have some left over because I cut too much. I have 24 inches. I only need 18. So what am I going to do with the number 24 and the number 18? I'm going to subtract. And my answer, that's how much extra I had. Okay? So that's your quick check for 15-4. Remember, it's just a lot of thinking. You have to pay really close attention to the word problems and figure out exactly what it's asking you, what it gave you, and what you need to find. Okay? Have fun. Bye.